Today we're going to be having a look at these vintage Poundland lights. It's hard to even imagine that these would be considered vintage. These are a set of 20 shadeless coloured lights from Poundland. These were bought probably late 90s, early 2000s. They were £1 way back when. These were probably the last of the incandescent lights you could buy from Poundland in this configuration for £1. I generally used to buy them pretty much to get spare bulbs, also get a free plug. Now you'll see that this plug has screws that you can open. Later on down the line they used to fit plugs with the tamper-proof screws where you could only screw them in one direction, mainly inwards, and then when you tried to unscrew them it would just skip over and not have anything to bite on. Then they used to put non-removable screws full stop with no heads on them and then fill the holes with some kind of a white resin. But back in the day you could get a free plug. This one still even has the cardboard inlay on it. Here's the particulars. Very odd stats for the bulbs. 12 volt, 8.4 watt, not 1.1 watt. And the fuse bulb, 10.5 volts, 1.26 watts. Very, very strange. Normally it should be about 20 watts for the chain. This is only 17.22. I found these in the stash. And these appear to be similar lights, probably made in the same factory, but for somebody else's lights, not Poundland. Or possibly Poundland, but it's not marked as such. It's the same odd wattages and voltages. Also, this one has the useless plug with the tamper-proof bolt that they put in from the factory, and this weighs absolutely nothing. There is nothing to it. It's very lightweight. This set is in better condition, but in regards to the bulbs, they've obviously not been used very long. Now early on you could use the spare bulbs, but when they went to these, and I was using the spare bulbs in other sets, and they just burned really bright and popped not long after. So these started being incompatible to being used as spare bulbs because they're just such an odd wattage. Imported by Poundland. They are a set of 20, coloured, goes in a circle. It does not go in a straight line. I'll give you an example of them going in a circle as well. So they're not braided, gaps are very narrow. There's your cable, and there's your lights going in a circle. Pretty useless. They're also a pain to wrap up again. So the uses for them are limited because when they go in a circle, your cables are just all over the place. You can't put it on a fireplace garland because you've got to come back on yourself and you've not got enough cable. The use for these is pretty much a very small tree, and that's pretty much it. You would probably need an extension lead to actually get the plug to a plug socket. They have the more modern bulb feet on them. Not particularly bespoke, but they are very small. For example, a red berry with a similar kind of foot. As you can see, there is quite the size difference. It's not too noticeable, it's quite subtle. But as you can see from the cherry one, which is more of a standard size for this kind of bulb holder, they are quite narrow and can be a bit loose in bulb holders. You can feet swap them, but again, bulbs don't seem to last very long. You would have to run the whole set on a dimmer plug just to suit running these bulbs. Them being used as spares stopped a long time ago. But we have them. Let's see if they work. And they do. Now the camera is showing the colours really nicely and vividly. Sorry about the flicker. But they are a little bit faded, but the colours are still distinguishable. They have blue, red, an orangey yellow, a pink, and a green. And the fade on the bulbs is pretty consistent between them all. The blues seem to fade more. Even on their own set, they do run a little bit warm. They're nice and bright, nice and vivid. Again, handy for a small tree or some kind of small display. I couldn't find anything in the archive for these, but they came in a very small box about this big. The bulbs weren't wrapped like this, they were originally wrapped like this, and then the cable folded up and the plug shoved in. I do have a set somewhere, I will find them eventually, of a set of Asda or Tesco push-in lights, and they were the last of their kind, and I think they were £1.49. They might still have the price on them, and they are similar to these, but the bulbs are a little bit more usable. But here's a nice little short video of probably one of the last sets of incandescent lights you could buy from Poundland before they started getting expensive, and LED. Just a plain, simple, bog standard, traditional incandescent light, and they were only £1 with a free plug. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you on the next one.